What's up, guys? War here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm bringing you an update guide to my Ice Strike Monk that you guys have been following with me since I started the class from a few videos ago. So right now we are in the end game. We have been farming maps like crazy. And yes, I know that I'm not doing Ice Strike at the moment. We are doing Flurry, but I wanted to bring you my transition and update guide for it. Just because I've been having so much fun with this build. As you can see, it just explodes absolutely everything. So I'm going to go over the build and just kind of showcase everything that we have here. I'm going to end this Delirium. This build is very, very strong for Delirium. But I have been farming a lot of Breach with this build. And it just absolutely slaps. So let's go ahead and go over everything. I want to showcase a Breach really quickly, just so you guys can see how strong that this build is. So let's go ahead and end Delirium. See you later. Yeah, let's go ahead and end it. Roll back. We'll grab these greed and stuff. So simulacrum splinter. And we'll go ahead and go do this Breach. This build is very, very good. Now, there is going to be a few variations with this, and I'm going to go over everything that you guys need if you are continuing to play Ice Strike. I did finish out that just in case if you guys are still going to play it. So let's go ahead and do this Breach and just showcase how strong that this build actually is and why it's so great. I mean, it just makes doing Breach really, really fun. Oh. Explosions, dodge fireballs. Dodge them all. Blow up everything. Get these collapse hands. Another Breach ring, nice. It just explodes everything. It's so good. You never run out of power charges. Make sure we dodge all the fireballs. I've dodged those too many times. Oh my god, big exalt. Collapse. Nice. Oh wait. Oh, he's the fireball thrower. Okay. Make sure we don't run out of mana. Oh my god, so many there and we destroyed them all. Oh, my Breach is getting ready to end. I ran out of monsters to fight. Oh, wait, here goes some. Oh, all right. So you can kind of see how great the power of this build actually is. For Breach, it's absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and go grab everything that we need. All the important stuff. All the Breach splinters. I have been having an absolute blast farming Breach with this build. And it's just really, really fun. It is the Darth Maul build for Monk. I know that there's some other variations of Darth Maul out there. But this one has been the funnest for me. Another Breach Cursor tablet. Oh my god, and we're full. Let's get rid of this mace for now. Grab the Regal. I don't even know where I had a Regal shard. Let's grab the Cursor tablet, because that's what's most important. Oh. Explode all these guys. I don't even know where they came from. Oh, I'm frozen. Unfreeze. See ya. Okay, so now we're going to go over the skill, the build. Let's go back to town just so I can show you all the changes. Now, first thing first, guys, we are going to get into everything. I'm going to go over to my mobalytics here, to my planner and my profile, and just showcase my Ice Strike leveling build. If you guys have been following, the link to this will also be down in the description. I'm really hoping that the devs are working on, or the guys, developers behind mobalytics, they are working on a way to show the progression of the passive tree, which is something I highly requested as a partner. So, but for right now, we just have the build variant. So if you guys have been following along, you have day 1, day 2, and day 3. I just updated day 3 for Ice Strike with some gear pieces that you need. All of the skill gems are the same. What we did do is we added Crescendo to Ice Strike. We added Rage to Tempest Bell. Herald of Ice, we switched up a couple gems. We are doing Cold Mastery, Magnified Effect, and Cold Infusion. Unbound Avatar is still there. However, you could probably swap off this and just go up towards Lead Me Through Grace, or lose the Unbound Avatar and actually come grab the Sunder My Enemies. That's up to you, but Unbound Avatar is actually pretty cool. Then we got Charge Staff with just our 2 Perpetual and Persistence right now. Combat Frenzy still with Profusion and Precision. We add Charge Infusion to the build. You should upgrade your build to get more Spirit. And then we add Wind Dancer with Culling Strike and Vitality. Now, Everything is still pretty much the same. This will carry you into the end game. I do have an update to the passive tree here, guys, so you can see everything that you guys need for the passive tree and how to kind of navigate this. So if you do still are playing Ice Strike, then by all means, follow this day 3. This will take you all the way to level 90, and you guys should be good to go for farming maps all the way up to T15s. Now, with that said, as you're progressing through this tree with Ice Strike, if you want to switch over to the Darth Maul build, I do have all the gear and everything that we have here, and I'm going to go over a few things. First things first, though, let's get this out of the way. These gloves for hand and wisdom, these will make the build absolutely thrive 100 times better than what I just showcased to you. I don't have them, so I thought this was a really good time to kind of present the build, because Hand of Wisdom in action, these things go for about 6 div. Yeah, there's 1 div here for 1. I might buy one for 1 div if I'm being honest, just to showcase. The 12 resistance isn't exactly what I want, but 1 div is actually pretty good for these. Otherwise, they're going for 5 or 6 divs a piece, which is really, really annoying for this build. But you do not have to have these, as you guys just saw. I was able to destroy these, no problem. Now, for 1 div, though, I might actually go snag these for 1 div. This seems really, really good for 1 div. Nothing actually changed on these, it doesn't look like. I might go get these. Let me check my character real quick. If I lose gloves, which ones are actually... If I lose my gloves, what am I losing the most here? So they're the same. I probably need more fire res. Okay. So we could probably come get these for a div. Oh, its item is no longer there. Oh, they're both gone for a div. Darn. So yeah, you can see that these are 5 div, 6 div a piece. We should have go ahead and clicked that for 1 div. Man, I missed my window there. So these things are really, really hard to get at 5 divs a piece. Really, really tough to get. Now, they will make the build feel infinitely better, but you do not need them. They are not required for the build whatsoever. They are not required for the build. You do not need them. But it will make the build significantly stronger. So what I would suggest is that you try your hardest and strive to get them, because they're going to make the build scale so good. It's going to make it scale really, really well. The reason that these things scale really so good is because increased attack speed per 25 dex, which is insane. Even at my dexterity now, it's about 23% increased attack speed. And then adds lightning damage to attacks per 10 intelligence, which is insane. So, and it gives you some attribute stacking, which is kind of nutty. So, yeah, now you don't need them. You have these gloves right here. I have listed this down in the mobilytics, where you can have gloves like this, which you would want cold damage instead of fire, but you want increased attack speed at a minimum of 14 or 15%, and then some reses just to help cap you out. So this build is very, very good, very strong, and I really have enjoyed it so much. We're still using the pole. I'm going to just say the pole ring. This ring is what's making all the explosions actually happen. We've been using this since the leveling guide, which is why I said, if you are on Ice Strike and you want to transition over to this, it is relatively easy. Just make sure you got some really good gear. And I would highly suggest getting the next most important piece, which is a breach ring. So we got a breach ring here, and we qualityed it up to 50. We have add cold, add lightning, evasion, dexterity. 60 cold res is what you want. You want cold res here. And then the extra 13% to elements was actually just a bonus. But every other stat that's on there besides the plus to all elemental resistances is definitely what you want, because when you quality this, and we're going to be using these catalysts that we get from Breach. Once you use the catalyst that actually I use tolls, it says adds quality to enhance cold modifiers on a ring or amulet. So what this means is that when we add those to this ring, it's going to increase every cold stat. So it increases our cold damage and our cold resistance all at the same time, which is why I have 60% increased cold res here. So this breach ring makes it feel so much better on this build. So make sure you get a breach ring. If not, try to get a ring that has similar stats. Probably a sapphire ring with some additional mods. Okay. In our amulet, we're going just maximum energy shield, mana. We got rarity here and then some reses. Your amulet really needs to be, I'm using that one for the rarity find right now. But really what you want to do is get a lunar amulet. You want to get this one right here with increased maximum energy shield and evasion. The 13% rarity is fine, but right now that extra 30% feels much better than 13% with increased critical damage bonus and then lightning res, which is really, really good. So get a lunar amulet. It makes it feel great. But right now I'm using the solar, which with the rarity, it just feels great for loot drops. Next, of course, we just got a random belt here. Just try to get max life, strength, reses. We got 2 dead mods on there, so I'm still needing to improve this belt. Boots, we got 30% increased movement speed, increased evasion, energy shield. Intelligence, instead of intelligence, we would want that to be dexterity or more evasion or energy shield. And then the fire res is good, and then we have 2 dead mods there with the regen and stun threshold. So, but the boots are pretty solid. I could still use an upgrade there. On the helmet, we got evasion, max energy shield, max evasion, and energy shield together. You really want to just be stacking these all over the place because we only have 2,000 energy shield. We want to get this to 5,000 as fast as we can. And then the intelligence mod is actually kind of nice. Now, the last 2 and most important pieces to the build, obviously, is our chest piece. The big reason that we want an insane chest piece is because on our Paragon board, or excuse me, our Ascendancy choice, we do Lead Me Through Grace. We gain a spear for every 6 energy and gain a spear for every 15 evasion on our body armor. And then we cannot gain spear from any equipment, which is why the additional 13 spear from our Gale medallion here does not add to our spirit total. So we have, this is pretty much everything that you want, guys. You can do the base scalpers for 5% increased move speed. Otherwise, you don't have to. Just make sure you have an expert jacket of any kind. And we want these stats here. You want evasion, max energy shield, increased evasion, and energy shield. Those are the 3 most important mods that you need to have on here. And then everything after that, you can do reses to figure out your caps, max life, which is really great. The regen is just a dead mod, but this is essentially what you want on your chest piece. Next is your weapon. I can still use a better weapon, but for right now, this is going to have to work. We got fizz damage, add cold damage, very important for the build. You need to make sure you have add cold damage here. Accuracy, you want crit hit chance, and then increase attack speed. And if you can, also get crit hit damage. So instead of leeches, if that's crit hit damage, that would be huge. But for right now, this is pretty much all the stats that you want except for the leech. And this will get you through pretty much everything that you need to do as you're leveling up. It doesn't matter really what base you have. I have an expert crescent quarterstaff, but it doesn't really matter which base that you actually have. So that's the gear, guys. Very, very strong. I'm just doing this golden charm. Really, I always run the thawing charm just so I can resist freeze. But because I can have a chance in 1 and 3 to gain a charge when I kill an enemy. Every time I kill an elite pop. I mean, I think the charms are kind of useless, but this helps, right? Okay, so that's a gear. Let's go over the passive tree because the passive tree does look very similar to what we had before with some changes. We lost this stuff over here. We still have the crit stuff. We did lose the top end here. Make sure that you have one with the storm. This is going to make the build feel very, very fluid with your power charges. Ever since you have one with the storm and you're using charge staff, you should never run out of power charges. What this means is when I gain 1 power charge, instead it's going to count as 2. So if we go back in here, you're going to see me gain power charges up here in the corner. Let's go ahead and grab some yellows. When you come in here and I kill a monster, you're going to see me gain a power charge. And so you gave me 2 power charges every time I gain one, but this is going to count as 4. So when I pop it, it comes up, right? Because we lost one. It comes up and it's as if I gained an additional one. So this makes it to where like I'm pretty much always going to be at max power charges as long as I'm killing monsters, okay? So that's going to make it feel really, really strong. We still got our crit notes here. We still have our overflowing power, so we can get up to 5 max power charges. We went and invested in more lightning damage because now we're a lightning-based build instead of cold. So this is a nice additive of lightning damage. I still don't know about the like expose the storm. I'm really thinking about taking that one, but I don't think I need it. We still have our defensive layer here with Spectral Ward, which is great. We're always doing resonance. This is how you're going to gain power charges in the build, which is similar to how we do it in Ice Strike. We still all have our crit stuff over here. All of these mods here. We did lose flow state, and we came over here and took mindful awareness, which is very, very strong for increased evasion and energy shield. We do come up and we are investing into some defensive layers here with insightfulness, and we will get melding for more maximum energy shield. These are two huge nodes to help us try to get to 5,000 energy shield. We do have the crit investment for a critical exploit. Then we do come over here and grab Echoing Frost for damage if we've chilled, which should be all the time. And then Echoing Thunder if we've shocked, which should be all the time. Well, maybe not shocked all the time, but this should be this should be happening pretty much all the time. Then we come up here and we take Careful Assassin for even more crit chance. Then we come all the way up here because we're lightning based now for pure power, which is just an insane damage boost. And then we're also getting Patient Barrier for more maximum energy shield. 60% is just too much to ignore with our energy shield gains, because eventually we will be going CI because chaos damage in this game is just annoying. And then we got Ingenuity for even more intelligence. So the Paragon board is pretty similar to what we had before, even with our jewel slot here. And it only changed just a little bit, which is why I say the transition is pretty easy. Now, we do have a lot of gems here. We got 4 gem slots. All the gems right now are going to be increased damage with quarterstaffs, increased attack speed, and accuracy. Those are the 3 qualities that you want to have on until we can move up to CI. Now, when we go to switch over to CI, we're going to replace these jewels with jewels that are going to give us 20% increased maximum energy shield. So once we're ready to swap over, we have our defensive layers set, we will replace these jewels with those. But for right now, you want those 3 mods on all of your jewels, which will really make the build feel great, because the attack speed is really what we need, because we do not have the unique gloves. So we got a bunch of those, which is really, really great. So that's the passive tree, guys. Very, very strong. Now, over to our skills for this, because this build is very, very fun. It's very, very cool. It's just so reliant on power charges. It's not as fluid as Ice Strike, I would say, until you get power charges. But once you have power charges, you pretty much never run out. So we got Tempest Flurry here. Make sure you quality this for 4 more melee strike range. It's insane. We got Rage here, so we get Rage on hit. Rage is going to give us more damage, which is great. 1% more attack damage up to 30. Then we got Martial Temple for attack speed. Unbreakable. I really love this. Shout out to Lexu for kind of discovering this. We were playing ball lighting, and he's playing ball lighting, and the stun on this in this game just seems really punishing. And because we do not have a stun threshold or stun protection information yet, like, this is just really, really good. As long as we're using Flurry, the stun threshold is increased by 200%, which is just fantastic. Okay, and then we have Primal for even more damage. Now, until you get Herald of Thunder, you're going to use Electrocution here. Electrocution is going to help apply that shock. So between Frost and Shock, this will really help you gain your charges. But when you get Herald of Ice or Herald of Thunder, then you can put this in. Tempest Bell is still here. We're doing leverage, close combat, as well as overabundance for more. We only actually drop this bell on super hard elites with certain mods or bosses. Other than that, we should never have to use this. Then Charge Staff, our bread and butter, our Darth Maul. Make sure you quality this up if you can for 20% increased skill duration. Right now, my max duration is about 51 seconds. So 51 seconds until I lose all 5 charges is insane when you're running maps. So I got Ice Bite for more damage when we hit them, Conduction for more shock, Overcharge for more magnitude of shock, as well as Persistence just to keep this going even longer. Herald of Ice, we're doing Cold Mastery, Magnified Effect for bigger AoE, as well as Cold Infusion. Herald of Ice is what helps us get all of these explosions paired with the ring. Okay, with the ring and Herald of Ice causes those huge explosions as you guys saw. Combat Frenzy is required for the build. You have to have this with Profusion. This is what allows us with Resonance to get our power charges in this build. Next, we got Wind Dancer and Ghost Dance for some defensive layers. We're doing Energy Barrier as well as Precision. Energy Barrier is really great, so when we do become stunned, our recharge starts again for some survivability. Ghost Dance is actually fantastic. So we gain Ghost Shrouds, and then when we're hit, it consumes a Shroud, and we recover Energy Shield equal to 5%. This is fantastic. If you do not want to use this, that's okay. but this is very, very good. We're putting fast forward on there as well as clarity. Last, we got charge infusion here. This just is going to really help us with our crit chance. This is fantastic. So instead, we could do like you could quality this, but it just increases the timer. But charge infusion is really great for this crit version of the build. And then last, we have Herald of Thunder, which just really makes this build pop, right? So we got this. We got neural overload for more electrocute. We got lightning infusion, and then we put electrocute over here, which is just great. This makes the build feel very, very strong right now. I really want to play Blink so I can clear maps faster, but I just don't have the spirit for it. Well, I'd have to remove Herald of Thunder and Ghost Dance just to use it, and I think Ghost Dance is just too strong. So right now, I think I'm okay with just dodge rolling. So yeah, guys, that is the build. This is the Darth Maul build, and I'm having such a fun time actually playing this. I think it is very, very strong. However, I will say during yesterday's stream when we were, grinding for gear and putting this thing together, the struggle was a bit real until you can get your attack speed kind of under wrap. But once you do that, like the build becomes online, and you just absolutely destroy everything. Like the drops are just crazy. You explode all these monsters, and the build just feels so great. I mean, it just feels so good. So getting surrounded in this build just doesn't feel as bad, which I absolutely love, guys. So yeah, this is the build. It's fantastic. You see I'm at 5 at 38 charges. It's just super strong. So like the video, comment down below, and yeah, man, let me know if you guys have any questions. I do want to give a big shout out to Travik for kind of like inspiring this build. So big shout out to him for helping me with this. And yeah, man, comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this transition. Otherwise, Ice Strike still works perfectly fine. Ice Strike is still very, very strong in the end game, and I hope that works out for you too. So guys, don't forget to subscribe. Be safe, have fun, and as always, stay gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.